episode 5 of the AM Talk with Artem and Mila, where we talk about things that we think are interesting that you might be curious about also. I recently saw a really cool movie called Status Anxiety. It's like a documentary, but it's awesome.
What do you mean kind of documentary?
I mean, it is a documentary.
It's either one. It's either a documentary or not.
I mean, it is a but it's like it's definitely a documentary, but it's not like a documentary where they're documenting something that happens. It's more like he's telling a story through the documentary. So it's kind of like a nonfiction book told as a movie.
No, it's still a documentary. They just hire actors who play these scenes to reproduce the what actually happened, right?
No, it's not even that artistic. It's really documentary. He films real people, but basically the point of it is this idea that this guy has. His name is Alain de Botton, and the idea is called status anxiety. It's kind of his study on some aspects of modern culture that make people fucked up.
How the modern anxiety developed through centuries?
Kind of, yeah, like a special kind of anxiety. It's basically what me and you were talking about when we said, remember you said, well, social networks, everybody can see everything now, blah, 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 like that. So he explores that kind of stuff.
So what was the conclusion of the movie? Are we all fucked up? We have no solution.
Well, I mean, that's the premise of the movie. The conclusion of the movie is, if you remember that you're gonna die soon, things go into perspective.
So it's better to remember that you're gonna die soon.
Yeah, it's not a conclusion, but it was his parting thought. It's one of those things that there's not one conclusion. It's sort of a discussion of a topic. So there's a lot of ideas and a lot of conclusions.
So what were the ideas? Were they like two completely different ideas?
No. There's one continuous idea of status anxiety throughout the book, throughout the movie. There's a book. There's a book like that also, and he explores that idea through different venues. So he talks about it. For example, how today the idea of success. So he goes into, for example, the idea that today everybody thinks everybody's pretty equal. That's the dominant idea.
What? Everybody's equal? Who thinks that?
Most people think that.
Who have ever thought that? This is so not true and never will be.
Well, that's what most people think. That everybody is equal, everybody has equal potential, that your achievement of status and success is in your own hands.
Yeah, right.
And that if you don't achieve success, that's your problem. That's something that you did wrong because you have all the opportunity to achieve success. So if you don't achieve success, it's your fault. That is the dominant moral of today's society. It's absolutely true. People do think that. And you have all of this industry that support this idea. If you look at, for example, he gives an example of a public speaker, Unleash the Power Within, is a very popular book by Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. And Tony Robbins, you probably heard of him. If you see his face, you'll instantly recognize him. He's absolutely super famous. I guarantee you've seen him at some point, somewhere.
Maybe.
So Tony Robbins, he's an inspirational speaker, and he is one of the proponents of this idea that you can achieve success. Everybody can achieve success. And supposedly he has identified the things that stop people from achieving success, the things that allow people to achieve success. And he gives seminars where thousands of people attend. He's a multi-millionaire. He's one of the biggest names in motivational speakers. He is ridiculously rich. And so he tells the story that he went from rags to riches using these principles. And you can guess where these principles are. They're about hard work. They're about motivation. They're about setting goals. They're about being
basically all of the stuff that doesn't really work.
Yeah, right. Well, it doesn't work for many people. It works for some people, but for many people it doesn't work for different reasons. So he talks about this idea that this is a new idea that developed in the past century, that it's up to you to take your life into your own hands and make yourself successful. Whereas if you look at a little over 100 years ago, the idea that people are equal, no one had that idea. People were born into status, and there was basically no way to change that status. Basically no way. So you're either born a king, or you're born a poor person, or something in the middle, but then you stay in that class your whole life, because there's really no way to change it. But because of that, so it's very interesting. The way they used to refer to poor people in the past in England was the unfortunates, because the word unfortunate means not lucky. They were just born into their situation. Whereas today, they refer to poor people as losers, which is a very different way of looking at the situation. So he talks about that a lot, and he talks about this idea of success and the idea of money and the idea of capital and what success rests on and other people's perceptions. He talks about the idea of duels, how a little over 100 years ago it was absolutely normal if somebody even slightly insulted something about you, you could challenge them to a duel and literally kill the person for calling you a name. Today in Twitter, everybody calls everybody everything. Nobody challenges anybody to a duel. I think it's a travesty. I think duels should be back in style.
Why? We have courts instead. You can sue anyone.
That doesn't work. People aren't scared of that because, first of all, you can't sue anyone for anything. It has to be real damage.
You can. All you have to do is just prove the damage. But you can sue anyone for anything.
I can't sue you for calling me stupid.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
If you can prove that when I called you stupid, that somehow influenced your life, and you couldn't basically I spoiled your life, and I couldn't let you do your work, or it stopped you from something that's important for you. You can absolutely sue me for that.
Not exactly.
You just have to prove that. Yeah.
No, not really. Not really.
Yes.
No, not really. You can't sue someone for calling you stupid. Nobody can sue anyone for calling them stupid. There's certain nuanced situations where somebody can say something and that's libel, but that you can't just calling someone stupid, you can never sue someone for. But there is this idea of libel, and that's also a tricky idea, because if you say it as a joke and it's generally regarded as a joke, then you also can't sue them. That's why comedians can say anything about anyone and just claim that they were just kidding. So there's all these ways that you can't sue somebody.
That's exactly what I mean. You can sue anyone for anything. All you have to do is just prove it. That's what I mean.
But
that's why comedians are protected, because it's a joke. I'm calling you stupid, haha, funny.
Well, that's the whole point. You can call someone stupid and they say it was a joke, and then you go away. But in the past, if you call someone stupid, that's an offense to your status. That's an offense to your character. You literally challenge someone to life and death as a result of that. And people have killed other people for ridiculous things in duels, ridiculous things, saying that somebody doesn't understand some word, and a brother killed his other brother in a duel because of that. People would say less shit back in the day. Also, you have to think about, back in the day, it was impossible. It was next to impossible to prove a crime. There was no video, there's no photo, there's very little evidence, there's no fingerprints, there's no DNA, there's no...
Oh, those happy days.
Right? There's very little light, right? There's no light in the street. People, candlelight and stuff, but really, how much candlelight can you really get? But there's not everybody wore glasses, so vision was very poor. Even if you did see someone, are you sure that was that person? So basically, it was really easy to fuck someone over or kill someone or steal something if you wanted to. So there was a lot more repercussion to offending someone personally, because nothing was stopping them from killing you or challenging you to a duel in a good way, well, in an honorable way, I guess, or just straight up killing you in the dark, and nobody will ever prove anything.
Wait a second. Killing someone in an honorable way?
Well, what was considered honorable then? Yeah, back then that was considered honorable.
It's just weird to hear the word honorable in one sentence with killing.
That today, back then,
yes,
that was
today.
wrong.
We are today. So
no, but we're
my
still
time
people.
My time machine is in dry cleaning. So yes, we're talking about today,
as it often is. Yeah. So the whole idea, the whole point there is that we're still the same people that we were 100 years ago. Our brains didn't change, our bodies didn't change, our ideas didn't really evolve that much, but we conduct ourselves in these different ways that generate what he calls status anxiety.
I think all the anxiety, people started suffering from all the anxiety when other people, those motivational speakers or whatever the fuck they're calling themselves, appeared saying, okay, all you have to do, to gain success, all you have to do is leave your comfort zone. But once you live in your comfort zone, you actually get into an anxiety zone. So that's why there are so many people who like smoking pot. Because they're all anxious to, completely.
Yeah, I think you're very right. I think you're very
get out
right.
of your comfort zone. Your first journey is on us.
I think that humanity is a tragic state of being. And I also think that humanity is very complicated. And unfortunately, it's so complicated, but no one wants to think of things as complicated. So I've been playing a lot of chess lately. I started playing chess a year ago. It's something that I used to love to do when I was a little kid, and then I completely gave up chess since I was maybe 8 years old or 9 years old, and I basically never played. I basically never played since 9 years old. And a year ago, I don't remember what exactly forced me to, but I think I was just stressed from work and I needed to distract myself, and I was looking for any way to just get my mind off shit. And I was looking for a game or something, and I found chess. I'm like, oh, I used to play this when I was little, and I was very good. I used to go to tournaments. I had a rating. I took classes. I was pretty decent in chess for a 9-year-old.
You were a real sportsman.
A chess man, yeah. So I started playing. Long story short, I started playing chess a year ago, and I've been playing.
I'm sorry. Can I stop you here, because when you finish your thought, it'll be way too late. You know, when someone says "long story short," you're screwed. Basically, right now I'm screwed, because once you say "long story short," I have at least 30 minutes to listen to.
That's a start of a long story, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Please go on.
So
long story short.
So back in my childhood, it was a Monday. It was September 4th. I didn't sleep well that day. Yet again, I woke up to the screams of my mother. No, I'm kidding. So long story short, I've been playing chess practically every day since then. And chess is very interesting in what it lets you realize about life. And something that it lets you realize about life is there's things that are innately complicated that cannot be explained.
I think you can absolutely realize it even without playing chess.
I don't think people realize it. I don't think even I realize it sometimes. So people want to understand how to be happy, or how to live a great life, or how to be a great person, or what is the meaning of life, or how to find my purpose in life, blah, all that stuff. And those are very difficult questions, and people don't want to think that they are. And then people like Tony Robbins come along and say, oh, you want to know how to have a great life? I have a 30-minute video that will explain to you the 7 steps.
All you have to do is pay $20,000.99 for this video, and it will be delivered right into your email box.
Right. I mean, they make it more clever than that, and it costs much more than $20,000 overall, because what they do is they make the video free, but then you see the video, you get excited, you tell other people about it, other people tell other people about it, and then Tony Robbins does a seminar which costs $1,000 to attend, and there's 50,000 people there. That's how he makes crazy money. So basically, he puts out a lot of content to get a lot of recognition, and then he will like Britney Spears, like they put her songs on the radio, everybody recognizes it. Recognition breeds authority. That's something very interesting that people don't like to think about is how do we give someone authority? Why do we listen to someone? A lot of it is recognition. It's who is mutually recognized by a lot of people. Those are the people that we ended up listening to for some reason. We don't stop to think about it. It's just what happens. So he gets all this recognition, then he invites people to his seminar because suddenly he's an authority on how to have a great life in 7 steps. And he gives a great seminar, and he has a positive message. He's not telling people to go kill themselves or anything. No, it's a positive message. But at the end of the day, what happens is he gets a lot of money, he puts a positive message out, people are as miserable as they were.
Of course, because there's not a single motivational guy who can tell you, okay, here's what you do and your life will be absolutely happy from now on. No.
People
it's
don't
only
believe
up
that.
to you.
Right.
Well, people are stupid, remember?
We have said that before.
And thank God they cannot sue us for that. According to you, we cannot be sued for calling someone stupid.
No,
so
we can.
I can call anyone stupid as much as I want to.
Yeah, you can. You absolutely
right?
can.
Okay, great. I love this country.
Yeah. I'm absolutely serious.
God bless America.
God bless America, even though I'm in Ukraine.
Yeah, so they listen to this motivational crap and they're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And the next morning they wake up and they're like, okay, so why am I not happy yet?
Yeah, why am I not a millionaire yet? Why am I, $1,000
for this seminar, why am I not feeling happier?
Right. I'm doing positive thinking, I'm waking up early in the morning, I'm doing affirmations, I'm doing all this stuff that they tell you to do.
What's affirmations?
Affirmations
apparently you're really into that, like, all the steps. Did you pay $20,000 for that seminar? Is that what you're talking about?
I never paid for anything Tony Robbins. I happen to be not a huge fan of Tony Robbins, but I have listened to a lot of his work, most of his work, I would say. I've listened to a lot of his seminars, probably most of his seminars. Yeah. I'm a student of this stuff because for me to sit here and say this is bullshit, this is not bullshit, I have to know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I've listened to most of Tony Robbins and I've thought about a lot of what he said and I looked at the ideas that he preaches critically whenever I could. So yeah, I know. So to original affirmations is a very old idea that you unconsciously believe certain things, and the way to change what you believe subconsciously is to do what's called affirmations, which is you stand in front of a mirror or not in front of a mirror and you tell yourself stuff. So you stand in front of a mirror and you say, I am rich, I am gorgeous, I am sexy, I am successful, I am good, I am happy, I am dominant, I am blah, 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 I'm tall. I'm really,
and that's the trick. How to be happy.
I'm really a girl.
You're just talking to yourself. You're just talking to yourself in a mirror.
That's the theory. The theory is that if you say it to yourself enough times, your subconscious mind will start to believe it. That's the idea. It's called affirmations, and most people, I would say, as many people believe in affirmations as believe in astrology.
Well, astrology is not that popular.
Have you seen the tattoos?
Okay, I take it back. So this affirmation thing, I think it's the clearest way to anxiety, basically. You tell you, like, how do you get into that anxiety zone? You just tell you, this is like like, what do you have right now in your life and what you want your life to be? And there's like a huge gap in between. So you're feeling absolutely angry and uncomfortable and anxious about that because your real life is not the same as what you imagine it would be. And you imagine like your life.
I can read your mind. I think you're making a great point. And the point is that for some people, doing affirmations actually increases their anxiety because every time they affirm something, it just reminds them of the shit they don't have. It reminds them
Exactly. Yes, exactly. That's exactly my point.
See, I know you. Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. I think it might have to do also with the kind of personality you have, or rather the kind of mindset you have at the moment. So if you're in a neurotic mindset, affirmations might be bad because they just make you more neurotic. It's you just egging on your neuroses. But a person who is in a positive mindset, a person who is kind of already optimistic and working towards goals, affirmations might actually be a good thing for that person because it just reminds them of the goals they're working on, and that's a healthy idea. You want to focus on your goals. You want to remind yourself of what your goals are, and that's a good thing to do. So depending on your mindset, it could be a destructive activity or it could be a constructive activity. You never even know.
However, I think affirmations can work only in one particular situations. Like they can work in a good way. Do you remember? Well, pretty much in every other Hollywood movie. When usually it's during the date or like a very important meeting, and the character goes out of the room and goes to the bathroom and looks in the mirror at himself and basically talks to himself.
Right.
Yeah. Like saying like, okay, you can do it. Like
gives you courage.
The best you're the best of the best of the West. And like if you're using that affirmation just once in a particular situation, just because you being nervous. And you really want to nail it, then I think it can work, and I think it works.
Okay.
It's like telling yourself that you can do it, and you actually go and do it. So I would say that's the only time when affirmations can be good. But other than that, it's just. Seriously, it's just really bad. Again, just as you said, when you're neurotic and you're trying to be happy, but what you really need to do is just go see a doctor.
That's so key. I don't think people realize how most people are sick in the head today. Most people are sick in the head. I don't mean that in any kind of offensive or derogatory way. And I'm certainly not blaming anyone. It's just that we live in a very challenging time psychologically from so many perspectives, starting with our parenting and our families. We grew up many of us grew up in very psychologically uneven circumstances, just because of the nature of the past 50 years or so.
You are so cute. You found a really cool synonym to the word how fucked up our families are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thank you.
Did you find something called a thesaurus?
In my head. There's one in my head. I mean, many of our families are fucked up. Absolutely. And that's where a lot of our issues start, of course. But then also modern society doesn't make things any better. Nobody thinks about the psychological ramifications of how industrialized the economy has become and what it means to compete in school and what it means to do well in school today. what it means to make an income, what it means to work on a job, the Monday through Friday, all of that stuff is not natural, but everybody is boiling in the same soup today. And it seems like that's the normal life, but there's nothing normal about it. That to me is such a big idea, such an important idea. And it's almost as though people are zombied away from thinking about this.
Yeah.
And the result of it is a lot of very troubling psychology. That the people are just trapped in very troubling mindsets and addictions and just nervous things. It's not healthy. We don't live in a mentally healthy society. And then there's people trying to improve it. There's certainly movements, the happiness movement and positive psychology movement, and there's people working on
the happiness movement.
Yeah.
Is there like a parade of happy people because they are a minority right now?
There should be. But happy people, yeah, there should be. But there is a movement like that. There's psychologists and other people who are, you could say, are very are paying attention to the fact that people are generally not happy.
Well, psychologists are the first people who are not happy because, if you don't have any problems of your own, you don't become a psychologist. Here's the thing: until someone says that you are not really happy, you feel absolutely happy. Like, wake up in the morning, the sun is shining, you have your coffee, you're feeling great. And then you read some bullshit article or some blogger, because most of those speakers are basically bloggers. They just, talk in public and they write the same shit on their websites, which is basically blogs. So all of them are bloggers. So until you open the web page or the news, which is also some kind of evil, my opinion about that. Like, I hate the news. I love them and I hate them at the same time. So you're feeling absolutely great. Your day is so far so good, and you're just trying to make some plans what you want to do, and you're feeling absolutely fabulous. And then you open up some article saying what's wrong with you and what to do, what you should do to solve this problem. Like, they're trying to impose a thought on us that there's something wrong with us. Like, this is not good enough, so here's the solution. You should do this to become happier, to be better. Like, why do I always have to become better every single day? I feel good enough already, so I don't need to get better and better every day. That's just, again, a true path to anxiety. If I'm feeling great and someone else is telling me that I shouldn't feel great about myself because I can do more, I tell that person to go fuck himself. Because why should he decide for me, why I shouldn't feel good about myself right now? I feel great, so I don't think there's something wrong with me, and I love my life. So why do I need someone else to tell me that it's not good enough? According to who? But why they do that is because it sells. It's like, every time you're not feeling good physically and you're Googling and you're Googling the symptoms, and eventually you're going to get to the point when you find, when you diagnose yourself with cancer. Because this is what usually happens when you start Googling symptoms. And I lost my thought.
You were talking about the fact that people are telling you that you're, like, people generally like to tell people that you're not good enough, that you're not successful the way that you should be.
No, not successful, happy. Like, I'm feeling happy, and then someone tells me that I'm not, and then I'm like thinking, okay, maybe that's true. Yeah, they're right.
Maybe I'm not.
Maybe I'm not. Actually, they're right. And they have 12 points because usually they think that 10 or 20 is not that cool anymore. So now it's like 7 rules why you're not why you should do this to be happy, or 12 actual things that work to make the relationship great, or 18 you know what I mean.
5 habits
Like
of
every
happy
time,
people.
no, it's never 5. That's my point. It's never 5, 10, or 20 anymore. They used to be, but now those numbers apparently they're not working anymore. So now it's like 3 or 7 or 8, like something not even, you know. Oh yeah, I remembered my point. So my point was that all this bullshit, like when someone tells me that I'm not happy enough, and here's the plan that I can use to become happier. They're using that technique, like proving that there's something wrong with me because it actually sells. And the whole point of that is not to make someone else happier. Like they don't really care, because why would they? They don't. All they care is how to make more money. And this is one of those good ways how you can make more money, because you've used Amazon affiliate program already, so you want some more. When you tell someone that there's something wrong with him, and you suggest a solution how to improve his miserable life, and you charge for that solution, you're just making more money. That's it. You created a problem out of nowhere. Like the person might not even have a problem, but once he reads something or he watches something on YouTube, he's like, okay, now I have a problem. Oh yeah, now I remember why I made that comment about Googling the symptoms of if you're feeling bad and you're Googling the symptoms and you diagnose yourself with the cancer. Yeah, this is what it is. You're watching a YouTube video, you're reading some article, and you figure out that, okay, there's something wrong with me, and I didn't even feel like there was something wrong with me. Well, now I feel that there's something wrong with me. So what do I do? What do I do? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Anxiety. Mission accomplished.
I think that's true. Although I do have to say, like, yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Anxiety. Yeah, my point is, actually, this sounds like a slogan. Today, anxiety sells. It used to be sex that sells. Now it's anxiety that sells.
Sex still sells, but also anxiety. Market is expanding.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe if you're anxious about sex, then yes. But I think it's anxiety that sells more than sex.
You think it's a bigger market these days? Maybe.
I think it's a new market. It's not bigger, it's just a new market. And it's growing, and it involves more industries and more, it makes more people richer. Like people, I guess every other person feels depressed or diagnoses himself with depression, and they have a shrink, and even a shrink has a shrink. So yeah, more shrinks make more money. There's such startups that you can talk to a stranger who might not be an actual doctor, but you can talk to a stranger for like $20. What do you think this is coming from? Anxiety. This is the new market that brings more people into it and brings more industries into it, and there are more startups that appear on this market, and more people, like all these speakers, all these motivational speakers who talk for hours about nothing basically. They just good. They just can talk really good. I mean that's a cool skill, but other than that, they suggest nothing. They're not even helpful. I think they're even the opposite of helpful.
So how do we turn this around? Because I agree with you. I don't think it's a new industry, though. I think it's ancient. I think ever since there was religion, this is basically what was happening. People turned to religion as a panacea to make them happier. And today it's just not, religion is no longer the only resource for that kind of stuff. Now there's motivational speakers.
Now we have marijuana. Now we have legal marijuana.
Well, marijuana is also pretty ancient, I'm sorry to tell you. Probably was more widely used back in the day.
Now it's legal.
It was legal before too, before people knew what the fuck it was. But yeah, we do have marijuana. But what I'm saying is, as far as an industry, we have motivational speakers, we have psychologists, we have counselors, and we still have religion and all that kind of stuff. We have a lot of self-improvement books and speakers and YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a huge industry. So, but let's try to, make a positive spin here. Like, what to do about this? Okay, so this sucks. What to do about everything? Like, how do you have a better life? What's there to do?
I'm not really saying that it all sucks. And all those motivational speakers are awful people, and they shouldn't do this. I'm not really saying that. I'm just saying that it's like everywhere right now.
Well, you're saying it's an industry. You're saying it's an industry.
I'm saying that anxiety is a new market that sells.
Okay, but people do have anxiety. So is that a good thing? Is it a good thing that there's a new market for it then?
Having anxiety is not a good thing at all. But there's a new market, like, oh my God, were you even listening to me? Like, you wake up, should I say it again? You wake up in the morning, you're feeling great, your life is amazing, and then someone tells you that it's not.
I see. So you're saying that actually people are okay generally if it weren't for all of this stuff?
Pretty much. If to simplify my thought, yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, you might not even think you're having a problem once someone tells you you have a problem. And you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Well, now I have a problem, damn it. What should I do?
I know a lot of people who truly have anxiety and problems, and they don't need anybody to tell them anything, they just do.
Well, that's a different case.
Right.
I'm talking about when you feeling absolutely great about who you are and your life in general, and then some motherfucker comes to you and says, okay, you are wrong. Your life is miserable. What are you thinking about? You should change it. Sign up to my blog. That's what I'm talking about. I don't mean those people who already have anxieties. I mean, anxieties are awful.
But isn't it just by the virtue of just someone saying, like, here's how you can have a good life, that kind of automatically means that they're saying that if you don't do these things, then you don't have a good life, right? So it's like, just by them putting out good advice, potentially, they're automatically saying that, you're in the shitter, you're in the shithole.
I don't think I got the question.
So, like, okay, so somebody says, look, let's say they don't directly say in their blog that you're anxious and miserable and you should be better.
Usually you can read it in between the lines.
That's right. So so they put out this blog.
Like in between those 500 words that are literally about nothing, and they're like making you feel like, okay, they're about to tell me something. They're about to tell me the secret. They're about to tell me the secret. And then 500 words later, sign up to my fucking blog. Like, what the fuck?
Right. So I guess you've been spammed with some of those mails. But let's say they put up the blog and it's like 7 points of how to have a great life. And then between the lines, they're saying that you don't have a great life because you're not doing these 7 things. What do you do about that? Right? So, like, what?
I think what you do about that is you should think whether you actually need those 7 things. Like, do they imply to your life? Do you really need them? Like, if you're feeling absolutely great right now, why like my point is, these bloggers are trying to change your life and make it just like everyone else's life. And by everyone else, I mean those people who are, happy. I'm doing the air quotes right now. Do you know these famous mathematician, like Russian mathematician, who rejected $1 million?
Yeah. That was a great story.
Yeah. Please remind me his name.
I don't remember his name. He's from St. Petersburg. I think he won the Math Fields Prize, but I don't remember his name.
Was it a Nobel Prize or like it was something?
No. I think it was called the Math. I think it was the Fields Medal, if I'm not mistaken. We should.
Anyway, he's a mathematician. Like I don't.
Yeah, it was like $1 million. It was like $1 million. was $1 million.
Yeah, it was $1 million, and he just said he didn't need it
Mm-hmm.
because, and the reason why I'm using this example is because the guy is a mathematician. Like he's got his life pulled together. Like he knows what he's doing. All he cares is math. He doesn't care about $1 million. He doesn't care about being, successful, in a way that you use Instagram account to show how successful you are. You're just feeling great, and you don't care about anything else. You're fine. And he rejected that $1 million because he thought that, like, he didn't need it. Like, if he had that $1 million, he would have to change his life.
Right.
And I guess he was afraid that he would not be in his comfort zone anymore because of all those changes that he would have to do if he agreed to receive that $1 million.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
a
huge stress. That's a huge stress. Like and he didn't do that. Like he's never done math just for the money. He just did math because he likes math.
Right.
So
yeah.
that's the clearest example of how he rejected all those people saying, like, I do not need you to do me, anything, to help me in any way. Like, I don't need your help because I'm doing great.
Yeah, and doing great with none of the things that we think today are great, which is money and recognition. Yes. And having a lot of subscribers or followers or likes or whatever the crap. I'm sure he's not on any of the social networks.
How ironic is this? Think about it. Everybody wants to be unique in a way, to be outstanding and not to be like everyone else, right? To have something different than everyone else, so that everyone else will notice you, right? And people are trying to be different, like in a good way, different. Like have a special skill, or I don't know, be absolutely great in sports, or just something.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I think people actually want to be like somebody popular or famous that they think is very cool, but they want to be just different enough. But I don't think anybody really wants to be that unique. I think people are naturally unique.
I'm not talking about unique. I'm talking about, a little different. Just have that little, like, different quality other than everyone else.
I don't know.
And at the same time, so let me finish. Sometimes I see it. Not everybody, but some people do. Like, that's why they're trying to, like, take Instagram, for example. People are trying to make their Instagram account, different.
No, they don't. Have you seen Instagram? Are you kidding me? Have you seen these girls? There's actually Instagram posts of how similar all of these Instagram accounts look. Every girl looks exactly the same. Exactly the same. All the poses, all the looks, all the locations, everything is exactly the same.
Okay, actually, Instagram is a bad example.
But it's a perfect example of what's going on in society today. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, starting with the looks, like how you should look, especially if you're a girl. Yeah, actually, no, even if you're a guy too. Like, there's like a standard. Like, people look like they've been cloned.
Yes. Yeah.
They look so like the same haircuts, the same faces, the same fake lips, the same fake boobs, the same fake six packs. Oh my God. It's a Barbie world.
What's happening is people want to think that they're somehow being unique and special, but in reality, what they're doing is being the same as not as everyone else, but the same as whoever
they're
template.
Trying to be in trend. They're trying to be in trend.
Yeah, whose ever template they decided to adopt, whatever they think is the in trend template, and then they just use that template. And that template is universal. It's so universal. You can go to different countries and see the exact same thing. The girls in Ukraine and the girls in America and the girls in Korea, all in China, everywhere really, all look the exact same way now. They all look the same.
Because it's been since it feels like it's been since forever that girls agreed, okay, there's something wrong about us, so we should change that. We should all this autumn winter season we should all have big boobs, and the next spring summer season we should have fake lips, and the next autumn winter season we should I don't know, become higher. We should all wear the heels all the time.
Hats. Remember when hats became popular about a year ago or 2 years ago? Hats. Yeah, everybody was wearing these wide-rimmed hats. The girls were.
Oh, really?
Like fedoras. Yeah.
Fedoras? What the hell is that? I
don't
think I even.
Well, obviously, Mila, you're not in trend on Instagram.
True. Actually, I didn't even have an Instagram account a year ago.
Well, are you even part of this planet? Actually, what is going on?
It would explain so much.
It does.
If I weren't.
Yes, it would. It so would. There's a thing where all the girls suddenly would be wearing these hats, and it started in Los Angeles, I believe, but it spread very quickly. Suddenly in Los Angeles, everybody's wearing these fedoras, and then girls around the world are wearing fedoras, which I think look horrible.
Are they still wearing fedoras?
Not as much. It kind of blew over, I feel. But the way it started is the way anything starts. Some celebrity started wearing one, and then everybody picked it up. Yeah, girls would be all over.
It only looks good. It only looks good on men, but once they also wear a long beige coat, and they've come from the 50s. That's the only time when they look good.
Also, they're in the 50s.
Yes,
and also
you should be a man with a beige coat from the 50s.
Right. The point is that the idea of there's always been the idea of follow the trend. That idea is ancient. That idea is very old. Today, there's very little barrier to doing that. And so the trend changes very quickly, and it spreads very quickly. And it's also a lot more uniform because it spreads more globally now. Before, it used to be local trends. Now it's a global trend. If something happens in Hollywood, the next day in Shanghai, everybody's doing the same thing. That's how the world is today. And it's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
I think my prediction, okay, here's an Artem prediction. Ready? Here we go. I feel like there's going to be a counter trend very soon. Maybe in a couple of years, maybe in 5 years, but a counter trend that's going to be non-trend, basically, to not look like anything, to really go back to being unique, a special, unique snowflake. And then everybody
happen. It will not happen. You know why? Because when everybody tries to become unique, they will all be the same anyway.
Well, they will be the same.
Be a trend.
They will be the same in trying to be unique. But this always happens in society. It's normal. These are the phases that society goes through. For example, in the early 1900s, they had the absurdism movement and the Dadaism movement, which is just crazy shit. It's just crazy shit. If you let me see if I can find something that's Dada poetry. All right. So this was early 1900s, and
while you're looking for that, I can give you another example of right now what's going on with Ukrainian and Russian music. Basically, it's pretty much the same. Is there used to be these bands that which like trolls, they would troll in the audience. They made these songs that were absolutely funny, but that's not the kind of song you want to listen to when you're feeling sad, Those are funny songs that you usually laugh into, ridiculous. And now it became a trend. Everybody's just making fun in music. Yeah. When they release a song, they're just making fun of everything. It's not an actual song. It used to be a subculture. You're using all the bad words in the lyrics. It wasn't a pop. It wasn't a mass market. I guess it's like a pop music, right? Because it's popular. It didn't used to be the mass market. Now it is. Now everybody's crazy about that band.
Here we go. This poem will grow you as a human being. Ready?
Okay, ready.
Okay, the poem is called Perhaps Strange by Mr. Kurt Schwitters. Perhaps strange. The world is full of good trains. The passengers are cows, and milk and butter, and cheese and lovely marmalade, and bulls and horses, and cocks and hens. The cow is mother to the milk, and grandma both to cheese and butter. The cheese is cousin to the marmalade. The horse is cousin to the cock. The hen lays eggs. The egg is cousin to the cheese and butter, the son and daughter of the milk. Isn't it strange? It is.
Is that it?
The
Is there
end.
more?
The end.
What was the name of the author? Kurt
Schwitters.
Who? It sounds like someone named Kurt Schwitters would write this poem. Like Bob Dylan would never write something like this. Like
No.
Kurt Schwitters will. Yeah.
But yeah, Bob Dylan is not a Dada writer.
I think he is. Wasn't it Bob Dylan who wrote a book?
Dada?
Or was it someone else?
No. Dada?
No, not Dada. I'm not talking about Dada. No, forget about this crap. This is just, fun.
No, I'm just saying, in terms of people trying to be unique and different. So every so often we go back to a deconstruction of the norm. So from the 1800s, when the classics and the art of the literature and poetry were at their peak, Dada was the counter trend. That was the new trend. The surrealism, absurdism, Dada. These were movements that lasted for 20, 30 years, maybe 40 years. And they were all about not making any sense, having no rules, having no anything. They were responding to the strict form of classic literature and poetry that existed for centuries before then. That's why I think fashions will change in a few years, when people will recognize how uniform everything is becoming, and whoever is going to be the movie star of the day will come out wearing something more like Lady Gaga or whatever, like very unusual stuff. And more people will start doing that, just being crazy, being just absolutely crazy. Or as crazy as they can be.
Celebrity of the day sounds like a cool trend. Like, this is what people want, like all those guys who on YouTube who do vlogging, like video blogging, right? They call it vlogging. They want to be a star. They want to be a celebrity, at least for one day. This is what I think that's the main purpose of YouTube, to make people feel like a celebrity for one day. So celebrity of the day, it actually sounds like the best employee of the month at McDonald's. My God, it sounds so pathetic. Like your goal is if your goal is to feel like a celebrity, to be a celebrity of the day. Sounds so pathetic.
Well, pathetic or not, it's naturally what everybody's inclined to want. It's a very natural thing to want.
And on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Take all advice with a healthy dose of skepticism. Don't leave your mindset to charismatic speakers alone. Read, learn, and see a psychotherapist to get your mind right if you need to. Like and subscribe on YouTube if you like this episode. You can find us on Twitter at @TheAMTalk. As always, tell your friends, tell your relatives, and don't tell your mama. Till next time.